Hi all, my name is Lee West and welcome to General Chemistry Prep Chemistry 139. So Chemistry 139 is the introductory course for the General Chemistry sequence, and General Chemistry is normally taken by people that are STEM majors, so people that would like to become doctors, veterinarians, dentists, scientists or engineers. So, as I mentioned, my name is Lee West. You can call me Lee or you can call me Dr. West. I do have a physical office in the Library and Science Building, room 131, but I doubt that we will be there this quarter. You can phone me on my work number and leave a message and I'll get back to you. That's your preferred way of communicating with me. And you can also send me a message via email or via Canvas, and that will go through to my email. So a little bit of a word of warning about Canvas messaging. Sometimes it doesn't work well with large attachments. So if you are going to send me a large attached file, it's often best to send that via conventional email. And if you can use your college email, that's best for not getting detected and put into my junk, right? So we don't want an important email to go missing because you send it from your regular Google account or something like that. I'm going to have office hours every day at 11:30 for 1 hour, and then there will be a Chemistry 139 specific session at 3 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon, and I'll record the Chemistry 139 video sessions and post those to Canvas. Okay, so our textbook is a freely available book that's online, and anything that it doesn't cover, I'll just kind of fill in the gaps with the video lectures that I produce. So if you look in the syllabus, you'll see where you can get that textbook. And it's a pretty good textbook. You have to have either a scientific calculator or access to a website that can perform the same function. You can also get an emulator for a scientific calculator like Wabbit, W-A-B-B-I-T. That's we'll just kind of like emulate a calculator on either your phone or a computer. You'll need access to the Alex online system, and we're going to be using that for both homework and also for testing. And if you can't afford to access Alex in the first week of class, then there's information that I've sent out via an announcement that we'll have a financial aid access code in there, and that'll give you 2 weeks temporary access. And then if you think things are going to be an issue beyond that, then you should contact me. You'll need this 10-character code to enroll in Alex, and so make sure you enroll in the correct course. If you do accidentally enroll in the wrong course, I can move you over, but it just kind of wastes a little bit of time. So every week you'll have to read chapters from the book and also watch the videos that I produce for you guys. And you're going to make notes on those readings, and also if you want, you can make notes on the videos as well. And you're going to make those notes in the Cornell system. And so that's going to be the foundation of what you're going to be using to support you for the other work. So once you've read through the content and watched the videos, made your notes on that, you'll submit a copy of those notes as a PDF through Canvas. So a couple of kind of points here. You are asked to do it in a particular format, which is the Cornell format. You're going to be continually asked in your STEM studies to write in a particular format. So we might have the American Chemical Society format that we want you to write in for reports sometimes. You have to write lab notebooks in a particular style. You have to write lab reports in a particular style. So you do have to write them in the style that is asked for, and there's some assistance within the modules on Canvas that will guide you through the Cornell system, which is super, super easy. But your work should be neat and organized. It should be a single file that you upload, not one for each page, but a single file containing all of your pages. The pages should be in the correct orientation, and they should also be in the correct order. you should scan your work with enough resolution that I can actually read it. So you should have a look at your file and make sure that everything is how it's meant to be before you hit that submit button. Now, if you don't know how to scan a written document to make a multi-page PDF, within the first Canvas module, I've posted a video there that explains the process. And I use a little app on my phone called Chem Scanner, and you just need the free version of that. You don't need the paid version, and I think that that's probably the easiest way of doing this. And in fact, you can just you can, from directly within Chem Scanner, once you've confirmed that your file looks good, you can upload directly to Canvas if you so desire. So that's what I would do. I would just download that app for your phone and use that to make all the PDF files that you're going to be needing in the class. I put a practice assignment up where you can practice uploading a PDF, or you can also upload any PDFs that you've made just to make sure that they look right into that area. And yeah, that's it. You know, that's a good way of checking that everything is how it's meant to be. So every week you'll have a series of topics assigned as what we call ALEX objectives, and these are graded assignments, but they're only graded on completion, and you can attempt every question as many times as you want. Now, it's worth pointing out that you can waste a lot of time on those problem sets if you haven't, got a good set of notes, if you haven't read and understood the content, right? So if you're poorly prepared, the ALEX objectives can be a real time suck. So what I recommend you do is that every week you identify the number of topics that you need to complete that week. You have 5 days to do it, so you should divide that by 5 and make certain that you complete at least that number of topics every day. And then hold yourself to that, right? So that you have a look at your ALEX objectives every single day of the week. What goes wrong for people, when honestly it can lead to the whole class going really poorly for people, is that they attempt to complete all of the objectives on one day. And often they'll do this after 5 p.m. on Friday, which means that they have no opportunity to get any kind of help. So this is, a really, really big mistake. So in week 1, it's actually the week that we have the most ALEX objectives. There's a lot of little topics that we begin with. So I recommend that you start as soon as you can on the ALEX objectives for week 1, and you should be doing at least 5 topics a day. Now, when I talk about the topics, you should be aware that every topic requires you to get 3 correct answers. So I'm talking about doing 15 homework problems a day. So some of them are super simple, just check a box and move on, but others are more complex. And one of the things about ALEX that you want to be aware of is you need to get 3 topics in a row correct. So if you get 1 correct, and then you get the second one correct, but then you get the third one wrong, it backs you up. And then you have to keep doing more. So that's how you can kind of waste time, because now you've got to do another one and then another one. So how many did you do to get it right? You did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because you got 1 wrong, you had to do another 2 problems, right? So that's how I'm saying that you can waste a lot of time on ALEX if you don't know what you're doing. You should be feeling confident that you're going to be able to answer 3 questions in a row before you attempt the topic. So it's important as well that if you are getting bogged down on a particular topic, that you pause and you get help from either myself or from the tutoring center, rather than just continue to waste time on it. You should go ahead and do another kind of assignment while you're waiting for that help to come in. Otherwise, you'll just blow all of your time on ALEX objectives, and they're not worth that amount of points. Every week you'll have not every week. Some weeks you have tests, some weeks you have quizzes, and some weeks you have case studies. When you're not having a test or a case study, you're going to be doing quizzes, and these quizzes are going to be administered through ALEX, and they're just a random selection of problems from the objectives that you've been working on. Now, it's not compulsory, but I would like you to upload a PDF scan of your work to Canvas within 15 minutes of completing the quiz on ALEX. So what I'm talking about is if you answer a question on an ALEX, as you're doing that problem, you'll be making notes, you'll be doing math, you'll be doing algebra, whatever might be occurring. What I want you to do with that work is take a photo of it and upload it to Canvas within 15 minutes of completing the quiz on ALEX. And this work should be neat and it should be organized. So by that I mean I want you to number every question. They don't necessarily have to be in order because you might jump around, right? But they should be clearly numbered. And then the other good thing to do is to always make sure that you put a box around your final answer. Sometimes you're explaining your reasoning for something, so make your algebra very clear so that I can follow what you did, and this allows me to give you advice on how to do better. It also allows me to assign partial credit. And so you'll see that the automated grading online is pretty harsh. And the important thing is that I will go through your quizzes every week and assign partial credit. I can't assign partial credit if you haven't uploaded your work, so please make certain that you do that. Okay, about 3 times a quarter, you'll be asked to do, instead of a quiz, a case study. And all case studies are you'll get some long-winded kind of like story or description that might be like a page or two about a particular scenario, and then there'll be a bunch of questions about that particular case. So this is really, really common in medical education, and we're just kind of copying it over to chemistry. So again, what are you going to do? You're going to write out stuff by hand, you're going to make a PDF scan of it and upload it to Canvas, and again your work needs to be presented in a neat and organized manner. And like I said, if you can remember to put a box around your final answer, that really helps. Make sure all of your questions are numbered. Even if you don't go in order, it should be easy to find where your work for a particular problem is. Okay, you'll also have scattered throughout the quarter, about every 3 weeks, 3 longer tests, and these are going to cover like multiple weeks worth of work. And so you have to kind of prepare for them accordingly. And so there'll be questions in ALEX. It's normally around like 15-20 questions, and again you'll be making notes as you're completing this test. You'll take a scan of those notes and you'll upload to ALEX within 15 minutes of you'll upload to Canvas within 15 minutes of completing your work on ALEX. So very similar to taking a quiz. So there's only one more kind of assignment, and that's the final exam, which will also be given through the ALEX system. And it'll be a random set of questions drawn from the topics that you've been working on over the entire quarter. And again, you'll upload a PDF scan showing your work to Canvas, and again within 15 minutes of completing the final. So I think the final is on Wednesday the 16th of June, and yet that has to be done by midnight, and there really isn't any opportunity for an extension on that because grades have to be submitted pretty soon after the time of the final. All right, so that's really kind of it as far as the different types of assignments that you're going to be doing. So how does it kind of all work every week? So the first part of the week, Monday through to sort of midnight Tuesday, you're just studying the content, right? So you're just reading the book, watching videos. You got a couple of days to do that. Perhaps you're attempting some of the ALEX topics. And so at the end of that study period, you should have a pretty decent set of notes, just like going to class every day and making notes in lecture. So what you're going to be doing with the rest of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, is you're going to be practicing applying the content. So this is when you're doing your ALEX objectives. And in the ALEX objectives, you don't have to You don't have to get things right first time. It's not like a quiz or a test or a final exam. You can kind of try every problem as many times as you like. You can use any notes that you want while you're working through this. But you just have to kind of complete the assigned questions. So you're just practicing applying the content, getting your notes organized, figuring out what are the important parts of your notes that you're going to want on your test or quiz day. And so then what we do for the rest of the time between sort of Friday and Monday is we get ready for taking a quiz or taking a test or taking the final in order to be like assessed on how well we've learnt the content. So every Sunday at midnight, what you have to do is you have to complete by that time either a quiz or a test. A quiz or a test by Sunday midnight. And so, you only get one attempt at each of these problems, so you have to get it right. You have to have your notes organized. You can use whatever resources you want, and it is also timed, right? So, this is really kind of measuring whether you've learned anything. So that's kind of how it works, right? Beginning part of the week, you're just kind of getting familiar with the content. Middle of the week, you're practicing applying the content, but it's not too heavy duty because you can have as many attempts as you like at any one problem. And then right at the end of the week, by Sunday midnight, you have to do a quiz or a test, and you only get one attempt at each problem, and it's timed. So yeah, that's kind of how this is going to work. So what I would say is that the key to success in Chemistry 139 is doing a little bit of work every day. And if you know that there are days of the week when perhaps you're going to be busy, have a plan for how you're going to kind of work around that. But, every week you should have a plan for what you're going to be doing on what particular days, even if it's just kind of mentally, you're just like, okay, I'm going to make sure that I, do 5 topics every day. And I'm going to make sure that I read, 3 sections of the book each day, right? But just a little kind of like a plan for how you're going to do things, and also a plan for like how you're going to accommodate things like, oh, it's my, my dad's birthday this Sunday. I'm going to be busy all day. How are you going to accommodate that, right? Because we have to be able to do our college work, even though our private life is going to kind of like interfere. We have to do it. We can't be accommodated for all of the things that are going on in our personal life at college, right? We have to kind of learn to work around that and figure out how we're going to manage our time. So I always hear from students again and again and again that time management is the thing that really helped them be successful, that when they were on top of time management, the class went well for them. Okay, well, that's really it. And if you have any additional problems, please, or questions, please just let me know. Okay, catch you around. Bye.